I earned $280.44 a day selling one $27 PDF. Now, I sell a handful of PDFs. This is just one of them, and I kind of want to share the backstory. I got some notes on my Post-it note here. The backstory of how this PDF came about. So I started running ads in November 26th of last year, and I documented my journey. I shared what I was doing. I was negative. For the first month, I was negative a lot. I was definitely in the red far more than I was in the black, and I shared that on social media. I wasn't too proud to share that. I shared the mistakes. By mid-December, I was having, more days in the black. And people started asking how I was doing it. They asked for a PDF, they asked for coaching, they asked for a course. And I just kept saying, I'm still working on it, I'm still working on it, I'm still working on it, I'm still fine-tuning it, And I kept documenting my journey. And they noticed a change in December where things started to kind of turn around. I wasn't super profitable, but I was profitable in December overall, but I had a lot of negative days and I shared those. Now, I didn't share every single one of them, but I shared when I lost money, and I would share a lesson, or I'd try to share a lesson. I'd share when I'd make money, and I'd try to share a lesson in that, And January, things started off really, really good with ads. The first of the year, New Year, new me type thing. And then it kind of slowed down and got back to normal by January 5th or 6th. But I kept documenting the journey. January was better. People kept asking. So I started floating out an idea. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a PDF and launching it on my Instagram Reels and ads process. And people were like, yes. So I said, okay. So I set up a wait list. They could jump on the wait list and get early notification. I think I got about 175 people on the wait list, promoting it probably about 5 to 7 days before launch. And I was like, okay, people are excited about this, So I wrote the PDF. It's called the Piss Off Boss Playbook. I might be changing that name now because I think it's a little bit confusing. Anyways, I'll link it right down below. It's only $27. For now, it's only $27. And it's just my process of how I create Instagram Reels, and then I spend money on them. I run ads to them. Not all of them, but the ones that perform well. It's a really simple approach to ads, I find. It's not the complicated, what a lot of the greedy gurus teach. And I'm not saying it's the best way, it's just this is the way that works for me. It's really, really simple, and that's what I prefer, And so I launched the thing February 26th. I think I launched it for $17, actually. I can't remember. And today, so that was 97 days ago, I had 650 sales, $27,203, which averages out to $280.44. And again, that's just with this PDF. And here's the thing. Here's what I really want you guys and gals to grasp. This PDF is created in a Google document. It's white background, black text. It's not in Canva. It doesn't have fancy designs or graphics or images or any of that pretty fancy shit. It is ugly. It's just plain. And usually what I do is I create my products in Google Docs and then I sell them. Once I get like 5 or 10 sales, I'm like, okay, I validated the idea. I'm gonna take this, hire somebody on Fiverr, and make it look pretty and fancy. That's what I typically do. This time I completely forgot to do that, honest to God. And I didn't realize it till like a month later. I was having a conversation with someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never made that look pretty and fancy. I did get a cover created, but after you flip the cover, it's just plain white background, black text. And I've made $27,000 with this ugly Google document. So the point in this message is I talk to so many people and they're like, oh, Canva stresses me out, or I need to make it look pretty and fancy. I'm like, no, you don't. If you have access to Google, you have access to Google Docs, and you can sit down and write up a document on how you created something. On how you solved a problem or how you achieved something. That's exactly what this Piss Off Boss Playbook is. I think it's 43 or 44 pages. You can read it in about 15 minutes. And the people who implement it are getting results. I actually had a guy named Jacob. His first week, he's big over on LinkedIn, sells a higher ticket course, a group coaching program, mentorship, and he just became a dad. And he's like, man, I really want more of these passive sales. And so oh yeah. I got a guy in the golf course with the same camera. He's yelling at me, holding the camera up. Osmo Pocket 3, by the way, I linked it right down below. It is a fantastic camera. Anyways, Jacob reached out to me and he's like, hey man, I got this new baby. I want to spend more time being a dad. I don't want to be servicing these clients. I'd like to get more of these passive sales. So he bought the playbook as well as a couple of other things. He ended up doing $2,000 with the Piss Off Boss Playbook in his first 7 days. Now he has an audience. He's got really good offers, and then I got another guy that I'm working with, a guy in the fitness space. He started implementing it just a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing daily sales now. So it does work if you work it. If you work it, and I guess that's the case with anything. But again, I kind of got a little sidetracked there. My point is, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have the bells and whistles. In fact, I would encourage you to launch it messy, to launch it ugly. Just get the damn thing out there. Get a few sales, and then go, okay, people seem to be liking this thing. I'm gonna spend time creating a pretty looking document in Canva, or I'm gonna hire somebody on Fiverr to make it look pretty and fancy for me. But don't do that before, because you'll put off launching it. I've talked to so many people over especially the last 12 months, and they tell me, they're like, oh, I've been designing it for 3 weeks. I've been designing my guide for 3 months. I'm like, how many sales do you have? And they're like, oh no, I haven't launched it yet. And I'm like, no. Let's go out and get sales first. You can make it pretty and fancy later. And I'm not saying branding and all that. I'm not saying that's not important. It obviously is. But a lot of people are getting a customer, making money. A lot of people are putting that like step 17. And then they wonder why they ride the struggle bus. Like, your first focus should be get a customer. Get a customer. I don't care if it's $5. There's a lady that followed me on Threads last year, and she implemented what I was sharing. And she released something for $2. And I made a comment, and I was like, that's foolish, for $2. She got some sales, she increased it to like 5. She got some more sales, she increased it to 7, 10, 17. I think she got up to 27 or 37 with it, But the difference in how she showed up with the confidence that she had after like a week and a half of going from like $2 to $27 or $37, something like that. The confidence in how she showed up on her feed was night and day. It was almost like it was a different person. And so I took my words back. I was like, at first, I thought it was a silly idea to sell it for $2, but you proved something to me. You have the confidence now. And that's what she had. And then she launched another product and how she did it. And I think she launched that at 27 or 37 because she had the confidence now. She also had the social proof, because people watched her. She was like sharing her journey, and she ended up doing really, really well with that one, and I was like, oh, like that's a great example. So maybe if you sell something for $2, for 24 or 48 hours, whatever, and it's not to make a bunch of money, it's just to get that confidence. I talk about it often, but confidence and momentum are like Siamese twins. Like, you can't, like, once you start gaining momentum, you look to your right, you look to your left, and confidence is right there. And that's what people need, is confidence. And entrepreneurship is a game of confidence, nothing more, nothing less. So get out there, launch messy, launch ugly. Something I heard from a mentor years ago, your first version will be your worst version. I love it. Think about that. That first volume 1 of whatever you put out there, whether it's a $5 ebook or a $5,000 coaching program, that first version is going to be the worst one. But then you're going to get feedback from customers and or clients, and you're going to make improvements, and you're going to make tweaks, and you're going to make adjustments, and you're going to make it better. Version 2, version 3, version 4. And you don't necessarily have to label it version 2, 3, 4. I'm just saying any changes, any updates you're getting from paying customers or clients is making that thing better, is making that thing better, is making that thing better. So quit screwing around in your head going, oh, I got to make it better. Let your customers tell you how to make it better. They'll let you know. You just ask them for honest feedback. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. If you have comments, questions, concerns on how to earn a living selling PDFs, drop them right down below. I'm doing daily videos Monday through Friday where I walk around the neighborhood here in Las Vegas and I share a thought, a rant, a perspective, an opinion, a win, a loss, a mistake made, a lesson learned, a case study, a testimonial, whatever. And it's just all in one take, zero editing.